Each morning as you awaken, you stand at the doorway of infinite possibility. The world you will walk through today is not fixed. It bends, it molds, it responds to the movement of your imagination. Before you rise, pause for a moment. Close your eyes and feel within yourself the life you wish to live. See yourself loved, successful, at peace. Not as a dreamer hoping it may happen, but as a creator knowing it already is. The secret of all transformation lies in one truth. You become what you believe yourself to be. If you would manifest love, you must first assume that you are already loved. If you would manifest success, you must already feel the joy of having achieved it. The unseen world within you is the seed. The outer world merely reflects its bloom. Everything you will ever experience in this world first existed within imagination. The house you live in, the words you speak, the relationships you hold, all began as unseen ideas in the mind of someone who dared to imagine. Yet few truly realize the magnitude of this truth. Your imagination is not daydreaming. It is creation in motion. Each morning, as you awaken, you open the door to infinite creative potential. What you picture in your inner world becomes the seed of tomorrow's reality. Most people live reactively, allowing external events to dictate how they think and feel. But the wise learn that the world responds not to effort or struggle, but to the images sustained in consciousness. When you imagine with feeling, you are giving life to an invisible pattern that will inevitably take shape in the physical world. This is not poetic language. It is the unchanging law of consciousness. What you hold vividly in imagination, especially when charged with emotion, must externalize itself in time. Life has no choice but to mirror the inner vision you nourish. Think of your imagination as the blueprint of creation. Every builder needs a plan before laying a single brick. Every sculptor sees the finished statue before touching the stone. So too must you become the architect of your reality through the structure of your thoughts and the energy of your emotions. If you fill your mind each morning with images of love, harmony, and success, those vibrations begin to color every action, every word, every encounter. The energy you send out becomes the atmosphere you live in. The outer world is not against you. It is responding to you. The moment you change the movie playing in your inner theater, the outer screen begins to shift as well. Understand this. Imagination is not fantasy. It is the power of creation itself. It is the invisible workshop of the soul, the place where every miracle is first shaped. The conditions of your life are reflections of what you have imagined, consciously or unconsciously, over time. If you would change your circumstances, do not fight the outer world. Go instead to the source, the imaginal world within you. Close your eyes and picture the life you desire as if it already exists. Feel yourself in that scene. Hear the sounds, sense the emotions, breathe in the atmosphere of accomplishment, love, or freedom. Stay there long enough for the feeling to become natural. When you open your eyes again, do not return to doubt. Return to the day with the quiet knowing that what you imagined is already moving toward you. You see, imagination is not limited by time or space. It transcends both. The moment you assume the reality of your desired state in imagination, the creative power of the universe begins to rearrange the outer conditions necessary to make it visible. What others call coincidence is simply the outpicturing of your inner vision. So every morning, choose consciously what to imagine. Do not let yesterday's failures, fears, or disappointments play the leading role in today's story. Begin each day by directing your imagination toward beauty, love, abundance, and peace. Feel these states until they become more real to you than the appearances around you. When you make imagination your daily practice, your reality begins to obey your vision. You will walk through a world that reflects your inner certainty. You will discover that nothing is impossible to one who imagines boldly and believes deeply. Because imagination is not a toy, it is the creative power of life itself. And when you learn to use it consciously, you awaken as the author of your own destiny. Desire alone changes nothing. Wishing, hoping, or waiting for your dream to arrive only keeps it at a distance. The secret of creation lies not in longing for what you want, but in feeling it as though it has already been accomplished. What you feel to be true, even if unseen, will solidify into fact. Every event in your life is an echo of an inner state. The universe is not responding to your words or actions. It responds to your vibration, the emotional frequency you live in. When you feel successful, success begins to gather around you. When you feel loved, love flows through every interaction. This is the unspoken law of consciousness. Feeling is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is not enough to think about what you want. Thoughts alone are dry and lifeless. They become powerful only when infused with emotion, when you embody them in feeling. The moment you feel your wish fulfilled, the creative power within you accepts it as fact and begins to move heaven and earth to express it. Imagine you are an actor on the stage of your mind. The scene you choose to play determines the story that unfolds. If you wish to manifest love, do not look for it outside. Go inward and feel the warmth of being cherished, valued, and adored. If you seek success, feel the pride and satisfaction of achievement right now. You do not need to see it with your eyes. You need only to feel it with your heart. Feeling creates the condition. The world outside merely arranges itself to reflect that condition. This is why so many struggle. They believe they must change outer things while still feeling poor, unloved, or unworthy inside. But that is like planting a seed and doubting it will grow. The soil of your consciousness cannot bring forth abundance if it is watered by disbelief. When you awaken each morning, ask yourself, what would I feel if my dream were already true? Then dwell on that feeling. Let it fill your mind completely. Walk, speak, and think from that inner state. The more natural it feels, the faster it manifests. The creative power within you does not recognize time. It recognizes belief. There is immense power in assuming the emotional tone of the end. This is why gratitude is so transformative. When you give thanks before receiving, you are declaring that you already have it, and life must respond accordingly. Gratitude turns imagination into substance. It is the invisible magnet that draws your desire into form. You may not know how or when it will happen, and that is not your concern. The how belongs to the unseen intelligence that governs all creation. Your only task is to sustain the feeling of fulfillment long enough for it to become your new natural state. The longer you live in that feeling, the faster your world conforms to it. So, when doubt whispers that nothing is happening, return within and feel again. When fear says you are wasting time, feel again. When appearances contradict your desire, feel again. Each time you return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are rewriting the pattern of reality. Because life always mirrors what you feel to be true. You cannot hold the feeling of success and remain a failure. You cannot embody the feeling of love and continue to be unloved. Your feeling is your destiny. It is the signal you send to the universe, and it never returns void. So today, stop waiting for proof. Stop postponing your joy. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and step into the version of yourself who already has everything you desire. Feel the peace, the excitement, the completion, now. And when you open your eyes, live from that place. Because when you feel it as already done, the unseen forces of life will move mountains to make it so. You become what you assume yourself to be. Every change in life begins with one simple yet profound act, a change in assumption. The moment you assume something new about yourself, the whole structure of your reality starts to bend in that direction. You may not see the shift at once, but unseen currents begin to move, drawing to you everything that agrees with your new identity. Assumption is not a casual wish. It is a decision of being. It is the silent inner declaration that says, "This is who I am now." When you make such a declaration and hold it in feeling, life reorganizes itself to prove you right. Because creation always follows identity, you cannot experience what you are unwilling to become. Most people try to change conditions while remaining the same person within. They seek wealth while still assuming themselves poor, or they search for love while secretly believing they are unworthy of it. But the law is unbreakable. The world mirrors the self you believe yourself to be. Until you assume a new state of being, the old one must continue to reproduce itself. So the great secret is to live inwardly as though you already are the person you desire to become. If you wish to be confident, imagine what it feels like to walk, speak, and think from confidence. If you long for success, feel the certainty of one who succeeds easily. If you desire love, Assume the identity of one who is deeply loved and loving in return. These are not acts of pretense. They are acts of creation. Each assumption is a seed planted in the garden of consciousness. Nurtured with faith and emotion, it will sprout into visible fact. Doubt and fear are the weeds that choke it. Your task is not to make things happen, but to remain faithful to your new identity until the harvest appears. Assume now that you are what you wish to be. Let that feeling take root in you so fully that you forget the old version of yourself. Walk as that person, speak as that person, think from that person's point of view. This is the true meaning of living in the end. You are no longer reaching toward your dream. You are being it. The transformation begins quietly. Perhaps your posture changes, your tone of voice softens, your choices grow bolder. You begin to notice new opportunities, new faces, new coincidences aligning in your favor. But these are only reflections of the deeper shift that has occurred within. You have assumed a new self, and life has no choice but to mirror it. Remember, no one can assume for you. You must claim your own identity. Others may encourage you, but only you can decide who you are. The power of assumption rests entirely in your awareness, and once you awaken to it, you become the master of your fate. Every morning, look into your mind and ask, who am I choosing to be today? Refuse to carry yesterday's limitations into this new day. The moment you assume a higher state, the lower dissolves. The moment you say, I am free, chains begin to break. The moment you say, I am successful, doors begin to open. You are not bound by past mistakes or present appearances. You are bound only by the image of yourself you continue to hold. Change that image, and you change everything. So dare to assume the noblest concept of yourself. Dare to believe you already are the one you wish to be. Live from that truth until it feels natural, and the world will echo it in every direction. Because life forever says yes, not to what you want, but to what you are. And the moment you assume your new identity, you become it. Speak and think from the end. There is a secret known to the awakened mind. Creation is finished. Every possible version of your life already exists in the unseen realm of imagination. Your task is not to make it happen, but to choose which version you will bring into view. And you do that by speaking and thinking from the end. To speak from the end means to express yourself as if the goal were already achieved. It is to think, feel, and act from the conclusion of your desire rather than the struggle toward it. When you begin to speak from fulfillment instead of from lack, your words become creative commands rather than desperate wishes. Most people speak about what they want. They talk about becoming successful, about finding love, about getting healthy. In doing so, they confirm that these things are still separate from them. But one who understands the law of consciousness speaks from the state of completion. I am successful. I am loved. I am whole. Such words are not affirmations to convince the mind. They are the language of one who already is. The universe responds not to empty repetition, but to the conviction behind the word. Every phrase you speak impregnated with feeling becomes a decree of manifestation. When you declare, I am, you summon into form whatever follows those words. Speak carelessly, and you scatter your power. Speak consciously, and you create worlds. Thinking from the end requires imagination disciplined by faith. Close your eyes and place yourself in the scene that would follow the fulfillment of your desire. See the evidence that it has already happened. Hear the congratulations, feel the satisfaction, sense the relief and joy. Do not look at the event, look from it. Let the inner scene feel so natural that it replaces the old state of longing. This is the inner shift that moves mountains. When you habitually think from your fulfilled state, you align every thought and action with it. New ideas arise, new impulses guide you, and life begins to rearrange itself to match the assumption you hold. Circumstances may seem to change by coincidence, but in truth, they are the outpicturing of your new mental position. Each morning, renew this practice. Instead of asking, when will it happen? Ask, if it were already true, how would I feel today? Speak and think from that answer. If you were already in love, you would speak with warmth and confidence. If you were already successful, you would carry quiet assurance, not doubt. Adopt that tone now, and the world will reflect it back to you. There is great creative power in the simple act of inner speech. Every silent conversation you have with yourself is a seed of future experience. Do not discuss your limitations. Proclaim your completion. Replace I will be with I am. Replace someday with now. The present moment is the only point of creation, and when you speak from the end, you plant the end in the present. You may feel at first as though you are pretending, but persistence transforms pretense into reality. Continue speaking from your desired state until it feels natural. When it becomes natural, manifestation is inevitable. Remember, words are not merely sounds. They are vibrations of belief. The tone you hold in thought is the frequency to which life harmonizes. If you maintain the vibration of the fulfilled wish, every element of your outer world will eventually tune itself to match that frequency. So today, discipline your tongue and your mind. Let no word of doubt or defeat escape your lips. Speak as one who already possesses the victory. Think as one whose dream is already realized. Let your every thought echo your desired end. Because the moment you begin to speak and think from the end begins to speak and think through you. And soon the invisible becomes visible, for the word spoken in faith cannot return empty. It must accomplish that which you have declared. Live in the feeling of fulfillment. There is a moment, quiet, invisible, yet sacred, when you stop reaching for your dream and begin living it inwardly. That moment is the turning point of all creation. To live in the feeling of fulfillment means to dwell, right now, in the emotional atmosphere of the accomplished desire. It is to make the end so real within yourself that the outer world has no choice but to mirror it. Everything in existence vibrates according to its state of being. Your emotions are the signal you send to the universe, the silent broadcast that shapes experience. When you feel lack, you radiate lack. When you feel fulfilled, you radiate completion, and creation rushes to agree with you. This is not imagination for fantasy's sake. It is imagination as law. To live in the feeling of fulfillment, you must first quiet the voice that says, "I'll be happy when." That phrase postpones heaven and locks you into waiting. Instead, ask yourself, if it were already mine, how would I feel today? Would you walk differently? Speak differently? Would there be a lightness in your step, a calm assurance in your heart? Enter that feeling deliberately. Let it fill your body, your breath, your every thought. The mind loves evidence, but the spirit creates evidence. Fulfillment begins when you dare to feel the joy before the reason for joy appears. When you feel love before the partner arrives, or success before the achievement is visible, you plant the seed of that very reality. The unseen responds to your emotional certainty, not your outward effort. This is the mystery of faith, the ability to rest in the unseen as though it were already seen. The world will call it pretending, but those who understand know it is pre-creating. The more vividly you sustain the feeling, the more naturally life aligns to match it. The people, the circumstances, the ideas that were once distant begin to flow toward you like rivers returning to the sea. Do not confuse this with idle daydreaming. Daydreaming wishes, fulfillment embodies. It walks, talks, and breathes from the completed state. If you desire abundance, live now as one who possesses abundance, not by reckless spending, but by carrying the quiet generosity and gratitude of one who already has enough. If you seek healing, feel the ease and wholeness of perfect health before it appears. The emotion itself is the creative act. Make this your daily ritual. Each morning, before the noise of the world begins, close your eyes and enter your fulfilled state. Visualize nothing in struggle or effort. See only the satisfaction of completion. Let gratitude rise in you until it overflows. Gratitude is the natural fragrance of fulfillment. When you give thanks in advance, you affirm that creation is finished and your part is simply to receive. As you move through the day, guard that inner feeling like a sacred flame. Do not let appearances of delay or opposition extinguish it. The outer world is only catching up to your inner conviction. Keep living in the feeling, and time itself will bend to your belief. Soon, the people around you will notice something has changed. Opportunities will open, conversations will unfold, synchronicities will appear. Yet the truth is, these are not random miracles. They are reflections of your sustained inner state. You have lived in fulfillment so faithfully that reality could no longer deny it. When you live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you rise above effort and enter flow. You stop asking, "When will it come?" Because in your heart, it already has. You are no longer a seeker. You are the embodiment of your desire. And life, ever faithful to the image you hold, must echo back the form of your invisible conviction. So today, choose to feel the end as already achieved. Smile as though destiny has smiled upon you. Walk as though every prayer is answered. Rest in the calm certainty that nothing is missing. Because when you live in the feeling of fulfillment, you are no longer waiting for the dream. The dream is waiting for you to realize you've already become it. The power lies within you. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when the search turns inward, when you realize that the answers, the strength, and the miracles you once sought in the outer world were never outside of you at all. Every transformation begins the instant you awaken to this eternal truth. The power that shapes your life is within your own consciousness. The world has taught you to look outward for rescue, to depend on circumstances, people, or luck to determine your destiny. But no external force has authority over the inner state you choose to occupy. Life is not happening to you. It is happening through you. You are the projector, and the world is merely the screen reflecting what you believe, feel, and assume to be true. Within you dwells the creative power of the universe itself, the same intelligence that forms galaxies, blossoms flowers, and breathes life into every living thing. This infinite force is not distant. It is your own awareness. The I Am within you is the author of every experience you call reality. When you identify with weakness or lack, that is what you express. But when you recognize your own divinity, creation bows to your command. This realization frees you from the illusion of victimhood. No person, event, or condition has the power to define you unless you consent to it in thought. You may not always control the immediate circumstances, but you have complete dominion over how you perceive and respond to them. And in that perception lies your creative authority. The moment you change your inner reaction, the outer world begins to reorganize itself around your new vibration. To awaken this inner power, you must practice awareness. Become still and listen to the silent thoughts that run through your mind each day. Notice how easily you say, "I can't," "I'm not ready," or "it's too late." Every such phrase is an unconscious command to the universe to keep you small. Replace them with, "I can," "I am ready," and "it is done." When your words align with your divine identity, your reality cannot help but follow. Faith is not blind belief in something outside of you. It is knowing that your inner world is the seed of all outer results. What you feel, you attract. What you assume, you express. What you persist in imagining, you inevitably become. The key is to stop giving your power away to appearances. Appearances are shadows. Consciousness is the light that casts them. When you understand that all creation flows from within, you stop struggling and start allowing. You no longer plead for change, you embody it. You stop chasing love and begin radiating it. You stop pursuing success and begin expressing it. Every dream, every goal, every miracle is already waiting in potential form inside you, longing for your recognition. So each day, turn your attention inward. In the quiet of your mind, affirm the truth. I and my imagination are one. I am the source of every experience. I hold the power to create and recreate my life. As these truths sink deeper into your being, you'll feel a shift, a calm confidence replacing fear, a sense of freedom where there was once limitation. You will realize that the only true work is inner work. Outer results are simply the shadow of an inner awakening. Do not underestimate the power of your awareness. A single shift in consciousness can dissolve years of struggle. The moment you claim your inner authority, the universe rushes to confirm it. Circumstances, people, and opportunities appear in ways that seem miraculous, but it is not the world that changed. It is you who remembered your creative power. So stand tall in this knowing. You are not small. You are not powerless. You are not waiting for life to begin. You are the living consciousness through which all life expresses itself. You are the dreamer and the dream, the cause and the effect, the seed and the harvest. And when you finally believe this, not as theory but as truth, you will awaken to your rightful place as the creator of your own destiny. Because the power you seek has never been elsewhere. It has always been, and will always be, within you.